Welcome back to Indy Ball Nation. No, I am not wearing a hat. Yes, my hair has gotten too long. No, nobody is happy about it, but there's no time to talk about that now, maybe later. We got to start some things off. We're jumping into the Atlantic League, and let's start it off with some interleague interaction. York and Gastonia got it rolling on a Monday for a weird three-gamer, by the way, around some graduation ceremonies that like an irresponsible former owner might have scheduled, but that's not what this rant is about. York would take 2 out of 3 from Gastonia. How about that one little plot twist there? Early season plot twist is what we like to see. They continue their bounce back over that opening day no-hitter. Pitching dominated game 1, ending in a 2-1 York win, leading to a split doubleheader that saw 32 runs in 14 innings, so a bit of both there if you're going to all those games. Zach Neff and John Olson, they combined for 10 Ks and a 3-hitter on Monday night, outdueling Ryan Conroy, Trent Fennell, and Brian Blanton, who struck out 12 in their losing effort. Gastonia would grab the first game of the doubleheader Tuesday with a 9-6 win, but Kobe Cato's 2-homer night would lead the way to a series win for the Revs in Game 3, a 10-7 final on that one. Heading back north first to the renewal of the Battle of the Belt rivalry between Long Island and Staten Island. Long Island took 3 of 4 from Lancaster to open the season, while Staten Island just dropped 3 of 4 to Charleston, but it was the FerryHawks playing the role of the Ducks' daddy as they sweep their older brothers in the big city. Game 1 took us into the deep water, 11 innings, 2 blown saves costing Staten Island the 9th. In the 10th, the offense said, all right, enough is enough. We're going to hammer down a 5 spot in the 11th. We'll take it 9-4 from there. Christian Capuano, he hit the bump for Game 2, and you know how he does it. Despite Frank Schwindel's second homer this season, FerryHawks grab a 4-2 win in that one. Thursday evening, are you ready for some football? Staten Island adds a touchdown and a 2-point conversion in the late innings to secure a 14-7 win. I like that. You got to know your odds. You got to know when to go for 2. Very few coaches know how to do that. 14-7 win and the sweep. Taylor Motter and Robert Brooks both homer on the way to the broom closet together. Oh my, there's a little broom in action for you. And oh, would you like some more sweeping done? Well, you are in luck because elsewhere in the north, Hagerstown might have managed a no-hitter and a series split in York, but boy, did they have a bad time on the other side of the big, beautiful Susquehanna River as they got swept downstream with the authority as well. Brad Markey, he went 6 innings shutty on Tuesday night, allowing just 3 hits as Lancaster wins 6-1. Wednesday, it was Caleb Barringer's turn. He turned to deal for 6 innings, struck out 9, looked nasty. Really impressed by Caleb Barringer. There'll be more Caleb Barringer talk later, so I'm going to show some self-control here. Stormers starters, they continue their momentum again on Thursday morning game. Good morning, and they're back and they're brutal. Jack Lebowski, he brought another 6 shutout innings to the table as the offense exploded in a 12-2 win for the Stormers, securing the sweep. If you're keeping track, that's 18 innings with 1 earned run from Stormers starters in the series. Second half of opening week Stormers, really more than second half of the season Stormers right now. They didn't even wait around. Let's head to the South Division. We got 3-1 Charleston hitting the road to take on the undefeated Rockers. High Point's red-hot offense combined for a 3-hit, combined with a 3-point shot. We gonna try it again? I'm not editing it. We're gonna roll with this. High Point's red-hot offense got that part done. Combined with a 3-hit shutout, got that part done. We're not going to talk about the number of attempts. They don't ask. Dominant 8-0 home opener win. That's the end of the story. On a Tuesday night, Ben Aklinski, Connor Owing, Xander Wheel, and DJ Burt all homer as they do. Typical. Nothing to see here. Charleston, though, would finally push one into High Point's loss column thanks to a big game from Roosbear Estrada and a good-looking outing from Kyle McGowan, by the way, on their way to a 12-5 win in Game 2. And then the Dirty Birds did it with the bats on Wednesday, but they turned around and did it with the arms on Thursday. 2-0 shutout, cooling off those rockin' Rockers offenses. Trey Supak, he was dealing. Jalen Miller shuts the lights out late with 3 scoreless. High Point only manages 2 hits on the night. Of course, Ben Aklinski got one of those because he isn't human. He must be stopped. He can't keep getting away with it. For Charleston, it was Kevin Maton's 2-run bomb that did the damage at the dish for them in the later third. Finally, 0-4 Legends traveled to the 1-3 Blue Crabs, took 2 of 3 from the newest team in the South Division. Nick Leo, he delivered Lexington's first win of the new ownership era as the offense got to Darrell Thompson to spoil the home opener in Waldorf. Matt Botcher stayed hot at the dish in that one on the way to an 8-5 win, but Southern Maryland would get to Dustin Beggs early in Game 2. They even the series with a 9-5 win there. Caleb Marquez homers twice. He looked really good in that one for the Blue Crabs. Then it was Thursday night. The offenses came out to play again. Legends ride an 8-run 6th inning to a 12-7 win. Every Legends batter gets a hit, but Brady Whalen, he leads the way with a 3-hit night. Is it too soon to panic if you're Southern Maryland? Yeah, probably. But you might want to keep an eye on the situation down there. Welcome to the South Division. It is a nightmare. Let's take a look at standings. 3-way tie at the top of the North. It's the Stormers, the Revs, and the FerryHawks, all 4-3. Then it's the Ducks at 3-4 and the Flying Boxcars at 2-5. The South also has a tie at the top. That's Charleston and High Point now at 5-2. And it's Gastonia at 4-3. And then a couple back from that, you're going to have Lexington and Southern Maryland at 2-5. Let's talk about this a bit more before I get back to prepping for the Frontier League and American Association previews. But first, like and subscribe if you feel like, and welcome to Indy Ball Nation. Listen up, y'all. All right, well, I typically only dive into some series every week. It is only the Atlantic League playing ball right now, so I will get to at least a little bit of everything. How about it? We'll start with York and Gastonia. For York, that's a big series win right into like the weird midweek pair of days off, so you can reset your pitching. That's huge for York. Big momentum builder. They did lose Chase Valamont. Not spectacular. He gets grabbed by the Diamondbacks. Great for him. How good did he look his first time out? Good enough to get signed. That's how good. He was in the show last year, by the way, so it's not crazy. He went right to AAA. Love that for him. David Mayberry also got sent to Chicago for a player to be named later. Kind of funny because then they added Matt McDermott to kind of fill out the infield a little bit. Got him from Gastonia, so basically he just walked clubhouse to clubhouse once they got to town. That'll work. Classic Indy ball vibe. York, they're looking solid here in the early going, showing good fight, bouncing back from the no-hitter, bouncing back from that loss on Sunday to Hagerstown. Like, they looking good. All right. Competing with Gastonia, obviously. That's a win. Offensively, they're doing it without much in the way of consistent batting, though. Their average is 198. That's the worst in the league. They aren't reaching base at an impressive rate. They have the third lowest slugging in the league at 697. OPS in the league, I think that was, actually. Kobe Cato, Donovan Casey, and Jacob Ryan Smith are doing a lot of the heavy lifting offensively, plus some timely work from Jamari Baylor. I won't let that slide. He has been contributing there. But the rest of the lineup regulars are batting 108. Doesn't seem possible. Just doesn't. Professional lineup. I know it's only been a week, but 108, damn son. That's not going to work much longer. Let's see if they can get that rolling this week, get things course corrected there, and hopefully, it won't cost them. They've been winning games. On the mound, they're going to miss Valamont, but they've got other MLB vet, Aaron Fletcher. He tossed 5 scoreless this week. Another lefty, Zach Neff, delivered a good outing as well. So hopefully they can keep that going and maybe see a guy like Alex Valverde step up. Got my eye on him. On the other side, if you're Gastonia, that's kind of a tough one to swallow, right? Dropping 2 of 3, knowing you're in a race all year with High Point's brutal. You kind of want to thank Charleston for the help this week, but also not if they're going to be a handful. So it's a tough division, man. We'll see if Jeffrey Ramirez can keep things going on the bump after his hitless performance to start the season. Offensively, this team does look like a top offense, but they need to get on base more. Second worst on base. It's kind of weird. It's just 318, and that's something to find, what's going on with that. The power has been there, but, if you're not bringing guys in, what's it going to do for you, big picture? I'm sure they're happy to have Kevin Watson going. Same with Justin Wiley, Stowers, Jake Gatewood, but Eric De La Rosa, by the way, out of his mind, but he is striking out at a 30% clip, which is kind of weird. They do need to get Jack Reinheimer going. He's a centerpiece for this lineup, and a slow start for him is going to hurt if it starts to drag out any longer. Looking at Long Island and Staten Island sort of transitioning back to that North Division conversation. How about those FerryHawks, right? This felt like a tone shift for the organization. I mean, this is an organization who has just been kicked around since they started playing ball. Their relationship to Long Island has certainly always been big brother, little brother. And whenever they get a sort of hint of momentum, they kind of get smacked in the mouth. You're like, oh, here we go again. It's certainly promising the way Mark Minikazi was putting this roster together, especially with how they look strong under Homer Bush second half of last season. But you go to Charleston, you drop 3 of 4, which makes sense. Charleston's dangerous. You're on the road, long road trip. But you sort of do get that, oh boy, is this where we're going again? You got Pablo Sandoval on the bump for 2 innings in one of those first weekend games. You're worried. But no, answer with authority, big sweep. It is really attention grabbing, that's for sure. really lets you know that, they're here and they're going for it, which is exciting to see. They got some guys getting hot this week at the Dish, talking Joe Dunnan, Nate Scantlin, Colby Johnson, Taylor Motter, all going off. They slashed and combined 383, 450, 585. If you're a numbers person, that's a 1.035 for those keeping track at home. Problem is, there are 3 guys also in this lineup who are not hitting at all. Pablo Sandoval, Jason Guzman, Steven Alames, they are all slashing a combined 143, 178, 271 altogether. That is not going to play. Don't do that. So got to fix that quick. On the bright side, Panda's got 8 ribbies somehow and a 222 on batted balls in play. So, for those uninitiated, if he puts a ball in play, a disproportionate number of the time or amount of the time, it's not going well. You think that would balance out over time. So hopefully that's what this is. He should be able to find some success here in the near future, but hopefully it's on the verge of a breakup, I guess we'll say. The FerryHawks will eventually need those 3 to start getting something going if they're going to keep this momentum and maximize it. Christian Capuano has looked good on the mound in 2 starts, but how good has Christian Allegretti looked? 1 hit, no runs through 5 2/3 of an inning of relief. Christian Allegretti and the Christians are cutting people up. It's like a damn crusade out here. There we go. Got the crusade joke in. Sometimes I wonder if this is not a good podcast. That's fine. Meanwhile, though, the Ducks just went real cold after those first 3 games against the Stormers. Talk about 2 teams that went separate directions. They've dropped 4 in a row. On the mound, 2 bad outings from Stephen Woods Jr. and Wei-Yin Chen really hurt this week. I will shout out a strong relief outing, actually a couple of strong relief outings from Bobby Vath. That looked good. That's nice to have, but if it's on the back of some bad starts, that doesn't really help. Offensively, Frank Schwindel has been frankly swinging it, slashing 400, 478, 700 with a pair of homers over the first week of the season. Tyler Dearden and Scott Kelly are both off to good starts, and Jackie Bradley Jr.'s bat is waking up, which is huge. But guys like Aaron Antonini, Ivan Castillo, Kevin Higgins, they're all going to need to be following in Bradley Jr.'s path of improvement if the Ducks want to accomplish what they're projected to accomplish this year. Let's take a look. We'll go to the other North Division series. We got Hagerstown and Lancaster. Interesting watch, unsurprising result. And I don't mean any disrespect for Hagerstown. It's kind of just expected difficulties of this series. A 7-game road trip's tough. Anything longer than a usual 6 is really going to start to stretch you. It's going to be tough to show up with, all your cards in the deck, especially if it's the first one for the franchise. You don't just have all the pipelines ready to go, a little disorganized maybe. It's just tough. It's tough to have everything ready to rock, especially against a team like the Stormers, who, after a slow weekend, looked ready to explode, and they did. Offensively for Hagerstown, though, just too many cold bats in the lineup right now. The grouping of Wellington Notel, who I think started 0 for 23 this year. He did get a pair of hits on Thursday, which is nice. Abiatal Evelino and Osvaldo Abreu, combine that with Curtis Terry and Yuri Perez. They're all slashing 133, 182, 221. I know I'm throwing a lot of slashes at you right now, but quick way to combine a bunch of guys, that's for sure. But you can't have 5 guys hitting and combine 133. Simplify it to that. That should work. Pitching's been solid, not really flashy since the no-hitter. Getting Chase Zaleski going would be really nice. He struggled a bit in his first outing and then got touched up by Lancaster on Thursday. He projects as a potential low 3 ERA guy in that rotation, so if he can find it soon, that would be clutch. That would be big for them. On the other hand, Lancaster's rolling. Rotation looks really solid. Big source of questions was basically the offense. The projections certainly didn't see how that was going to come together, but I'm watching a few games in a row. I was like, what's going on with Lancaster this year? What is the plan? They are decidedly sort of catering to the ballpark. They've got a big left field. They've got a right field short porch, and they've got a lot of guys who are going to drive the ball to center and left field. A lot of lefties who can drive the ball, and they got righties who have some pop and will also work the ball to center. And it just keeps the outfielders running. A lot of green space out there. It's tough to pick where you want to put your center fielder on any given at bat, it looks like. So I get it now. I'm starting to see it. Lancaster could be a problem. Ross Peoples might have just done that. But the Hagerstown series, combined with a strong Nile ball start, had some things looking hopeful on the pitching side. Combined with that offense, the righties who drive the ball left center, plus those lefties, yeah, as I said, it's a good combo. I see it. I see how projections wouldn't pick that up necessarily, but it's an impressive move. We'll see if it pans out over the whole course of the year. Maybe that's why they struggle a little bit at Long Island, if they're built to the ballpark a little much, but I think they've also been trying a bunch of stuff out, it seems like, especially throughout these first early games. So I think they're finding something, which is terrifying for the North Division, frankly. Looking at specifics, Chase Adeo, he's been struggling at the plate, but his positional flexibility has already been kind of showing itself. I think he's played 3 positions already. He can do some outfield. He can do some infield. Meanwhile, Shawan Dunston Jr., Christian Santana, Gage Howard, and Chris Proctor are rolling in the early going. And so is Kyle Hess, by the way. All 5 of them carrying an OPS in the 1 dots. Got Ross Peoples, as I said, cooking it again in Amish country, man. Dangerous team. Moving to the drama in the South, we got Charleston and High Point. High Point drops the series. It's not the end of the world. It is disappointing, certainly. Offensively, you got Connor Owings, Martin Figueroa, Ben Aklinski handling business at the dish. Aklinski already has 4 homers. Sign that guy, yeah? Because he's gross. So sign him. Somebody. Begging you. Someone sign Ben Aklinski. It's time. It's been a while. Okay. I digress. Ryan Grosjean, though, he had a tough week. You'd like to think he'll bounce back to his typical form before long. It's funny, we overreact to a week, but what's a week in the Giant season when we play? But it's easy when those are the only numbers you're seeing is that 1 week. And he had a slow one, so hopefully he'll get back to typical form there. Pitching looks good for High Point. They did get worked by Charleston on Wednesday for 12 runs, but 14 runs over 3 games to that Dirty Birds lineup is pretty good. You'll take that. Kyle Barraclaw and Jeremy Rhodes, they delivered in their early season starts. So, yeah, they've a lot going for them. Tyler Guerrieri, yes, got it the second time. Guerrieri, ruined it the third time. I'm back off. I'll try it again next go around. He's been dealing, though. Filth out of the pen. 6 innings of work, looked very good. Charleston, on the other hand, really has some things to feel good about here. On the mound, Trey Supak and Casey Cobb have both impressed. Jalen Miller looked great on Thursday. 3 innings of work from him, scoreless. Offensively, most of the lineup has looked impressive. Ruth Estrada stands out. Jared Carr, he also has looked very good in the early going. You want to see guys like Philip Irvin and Gabriel Cancel start to heat up after a slow week here, but with enough weapons in that lineup, it's not putting a ton of pressure on them, which is good for them. You know, it's not like you need to produce because everyone's being held back by this. I won't dive into it too deep here because last night I spoke with our first guest of the season. He's got, not to start out with a headliner, a Pacific Association title, but you just might remember him from showing up as a first-year manager and winning the 2021 Atlantic League Championship. Now he's back in the Atlantic League as manager of the Dirty Birds. Here's my conversation with PJ Phillips on the road back from High Point last night.
Yo. What's up, dog?
How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man.
Thanks for coming. I first of all, I live in this bubble where everyone used to Google me for everything, and I forgot completely that most normal people wouldn't have that app on their phone. So that's on me. Appreciate you going the extra mile, though.
Nah, it's all good, man. Anything for you, big dog. You know that.
Oh, man, you flattering me. Yo, well, you're in a good mood, though, because 2 out of 3 from the Rockers, dude. What?
Oh, yeah. You know, that's a tough team over there, man. Anytime you can sneak in some W's against them, man, you got to be happy.
Especially dropping the first one, man, but then getting it before the weekend 2 in a row. That's good. I mean, what's that do? And doing it the way y'all did, letting the offense eat last night, and then tonight wrapping the series up by just throwing. And we're going to get to Trey Supak in a second because I need to talk about him. But offense for one night, pitching the other. I mean, what's that do for the guys going into it? Because series 1, 3 out of 4 against Staten Island. But, you're at home, they had a long drive, makes some sense. But, having to go to High Point and doing that, what's that do for everyone?
I mean, that first game, man, we came and shit the bed, man. Them boys came out and put it on us. You know what I'm saying? So we had to bounce back. I mean, the guys came in, it was like, hey, man, we got to step up to the challenge, man. And the boys came out and put up, I think, 12 runs, 18 hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That the next day, he was like, we got to win the series, man. It's early in the year, but at the same time, this is how you build confidence with a young staff. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of young guys on this team, so we just came out there and pitched very well. Trey Supak led us, went 6 innings, shutty, and then Jalen Miller came in with 3 and shut him out.
Good Jalen Miller appearances. That's going to float under the radar, but that's good to get early in the year. Now, since we're talking pitching, though, I mean, Trey, nasty both outings so far. 1 run, 12 innings, I think right now, like a 0.8 ERA or something silly like that. I mean, what's it? First of all, is that what you were expecting when you bring Trey in? And how good is it to have a guy who's just out there chucking it that way?
See, Trey got a good track record, man. He had an injury, I think, in 22 or 23 or something like that set him back. But before that, man, that boy was dominant. look at his numbers, man. That boy was a dog, you know what I'm saying? So when I actually like reached out to him, I could tell he was hungry, so to get back on the mound. So, we decided to have him come out to Charleston, and I knew he could pitch, but I didn't know he was throwing it like that, man. That boy a dog, man. Ain't no way in hell he should still be here after this week.
Yeah, you're wondering about. You're starting to see guys get grabbed. I know, like Chase Valeno got grabbed out of York after just showing a little bit of what he had. So I mean, two outings like that, especially against 15 home runs, I think in their first 5 games, High Point had, and then get shut down the way they did. That's a situation. Yeah, you're right though, man. He was chucking it like low 2s ERA in AA 2019. Whew, all right, yeah, okay. Man, if things pre-COVID feel like they didn't even exist, that feels like some sort of fake world. But you look back and like, damn,
Right.
same guy still throwing it like that. The other one I want to hit you, and we texted about him a little bit this morning. Roosevelt Estrada is one who I have owned it. I was like, he got to Lexington, and I had talked about it, I think, on LPB Roundup at the time. I was like, I don't get it. I don't see what this is supposed to do. And then he absolutely lit the world on fire there. He went with you to Jersey, lit the world on fire there. Then he's here. Slower start this year, but 2 home runs right off the jump. He has something ridiculous, 30-something home runs and like 300 at-bats in Indy ball right now. So he's still that guy. Tonight, I think he went, 0 for 4, but still managed to score a run because he seems just to be that guy. So what did I miss? What am I not seeing? And what did you catch with him? And how great is it to have him around and for as long as you might have him?
Hey, to be real, man, I just feel like I know swings, man. The first time I seen a video of him hit, I just knew he had something in him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I just got an eye for that type of shit, man. Like I just love hitting so much, and when I see a guy that I know can swing it, I'm always gonna give him an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So like Estrada he just showed me in certain videos. I don't care about his numbers. I know if I get him here, get him comfortable, I know that swing gonna play. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't the only person that had questions about him. I had a lot of guys hit me up like, "Why you signing him?" And I'm like, "Just trust me, man. This boy can play." You know what I'm saying? So now he out here showing it to the world.
All right. That makes me feel a little better. Gonna be honest with you. I mean, yeah, dude, that's something. Just looking back at the numbers are silly, but I mean, PJ knows swings. It feels like a t-shirt. I'm not gonna tell Charleston what to do with their marketing. I know that they got a chain going on. They got a lot happening over there, so I'm not gonna get involved with what they got going on. But PJ knows swings feels like the vibe. I'm not going to take any more of your time, man, because you got a bus ride, and it's not. I mean, how long is that High Point to Charleston ride? I'm trying to think it through in my head.
I think it's like 3.5 hours, bro.
Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that bad.
Drive.
Yeah, because High Point's a little further over. You don't have to go the full like up and then over way, which sometimes you do. I was always shocked by how far some of those drives get. Where you're like, it ain't that far on a map. Like I think like Charleston to Southern Maryland's the one. Southern Maryland's not near anything. It's still blown away how far those drives are. All right, but hey, appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. Bearing with me, figuring out, downloading a damn app, and let me interrupt the beginning of your bus ride here as you guys hit the road. But best of luck. What do you got coming up? Who you got coming in?
We got Gastonia for 3. So another tough battle. Good coach, good players. You know what I'm saying? So we just ready, dog. We're trying to prove some people wrong this year, man.
Absolutely. Well, so far so good, man. Best of luck. What's that? I think you're sitting top of the division now. Don't want to speak too soon.
Oh but yeah, I ain't even looking, man. I just know we got Gastonia this week. I don't give a damn what place we in. We just got to win the series, dog.
All right, one series at a time. I can appreciate it. PJ, my man, thank you for coming on. First guest of the year, so I appreciate that. I'll let you go, but you have a safe trip, all right?
Anytime for you, dog. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate that. Thanks, PJ.
All right. Yo.
Later, bro. Thank you again to PJ for taking the time and dealing with a little inconvenience, dealing with me so we can connect on the bus. I appreciate that as always. PJ's always been patient with Indy Ball Nation and myself in various capacities working together. So it's good to have him as the first guest of this season. Now, let's transition to our last series, and we're going to do it quickly. We're just going to touch on Southern Maryland and Lexington. I'm already in a bit deeper here than I'd like to this week since it's only one league, and I got a lot of other projection work to do. But I don't want to just stiff one series because it's 2 teams at the bottom of the standings. That's a bad vibe. Not going to do that. So I'll take the time pointing out Legends Matt Botcher, who is rolling in the early going. Southern Maryland's Michael Wylansky, who I mentioned earlier. He continues to crush in the Atlantic League. That guy's filth. As well as Peyton Eels, who was just grabbed by the Twins. Congrats to him. Love to see it. On the mound, Lexington's Aaron Perry looked good with 12 Ks in his first start of the year. The Blue Crab's Sean Semple, he had a tough outing against the Legend, but his first start looked really promising, so keep an eye on that. And then finally, Cody Thompson for Southern Maryland. He's looked really good in his first 3 relief appearances, so that's something to watch. Southern Maryland always finds solutions in the pen, so that's going to be, it's always fun just to see what they end up doing with that. Let's do top performers, and we'll kind of make our way out here. My top performers of the week on the mound, I got Charleston's Trey Supak, who we just talked about. He went 12 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, a walk, and 15 Ks to start the year. Lancaster's Caleb Barringer, who I mentioned earlier, I told you would come back up again. He went 11 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned, 3 walks, 13 Ks with that shutout this past week. Staten Island's Christian Allegretti, 5 2/3 innings of relief, 1 hit, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Top performers at the plate, we'll go High Point's Connor Owings. It's a target-rich environment at the plate, especially at High Point, but we'll go High Point's Connor Owings, 11 for 23 with 3 doubles, 2 homers, 4 walks, and 8 ribbies. He also stole 2 bags. And then we'll go back to Lexington's Matt Botcher, why not? Also 11 for 23 with 3 doubles and 2 homers. Love that consistency. He also had a pair of walks and 6 RBI. And last one, we'll go back to High Point. Martin Figueroa only played 4 games, but he went 5 for 15 with a double, a homer, 6 walks, and a couple of ribbies. Picks to get right this week. Guys who I think will have a bounce back after a slow start. I'm going to go, I think, Wellington Dotel. Already got a couple hits. He's been making good contact. Things just weren't finding holes. So get a few more balls in the grass. He'll be all right. On the mound, I like Stephen Woods Jr. to have a bounce back start this week. I just don't see him struggling that badly out of the gate. He did not look good in outing 1, but I think he'll get there. Looking ahead to the weekend, we got some good matchups. Got Gastonia at Charleston. Going to learn a lot about those 2 teams. They are in Charleston. The interleague play, we got Southern Maryland at Staten Island. Another one, we're going to find out more about that Staten Island team and see, should Southern Maryland be worried? We'll find out. York at High Point, another 2 teams we're going to learn more about. It's a good weekend, man. It's going to be fun. York, again, they took 2 out of 3 from Gastonia. Let's test it again, run it back to High Point. And then High Point, let's see if they can bounce back after those weird 2 out of 3 to Charleston. And then Lexington at Lancaster, see if Lancaster can keep the momentum going against Lexington, who has been struggling despite taking 2 out of 3. Finally, in the north, you got Long Island at Hagerstown. They're playing just 2 games, Saturday-Sunday series. Delayed the Friday game because the ballpark's taking a while to get ready to go, but I hear great things about it, so I'm not going to make jokes about it. Not going to behaving. But funky little 2-game series there. Lets them both align their pitching, though, so if I was Long Island, I would definitely take that deal, depending on what the flip side of it looks like when you're going to make that game up. That should be a good one to watch, too. Hagerstown, let's hope they have a good start. Long Island, they need to bounce back, but hey, a couple days off, they can get right, so good for them. Or a day off, 2 games, another day off, so figure they'll kind of arrange some things there. Other than that, that is what I've got here. Fun first week of action in the Atlantic League. This is very exciting. Got us rolling. I got a ton to do. I was sick this past week, but I am catching up on the projections here for the Frontier and the American. Then it is the Pioneer League's turn to get that love. Until then, I'm Ryan. I might do another video. I'm really dug in the projections right now, so I have a bunch of fun stuff we're going to be doing, like not live streams, but like live recordings of me watching games, talking about things, or live diving into players as they are batting, and then I'll kind of edit it all together and post it maybe the next day. So keep an eye out for some fun things like that. I was hoping to start this week, but then got sick, fell behind on projections, so we'll get to it. I got plenty of season here, I say, like an idiot. Until then, I'm Ryan. This is Indy Ball Nation. Y'all have a good one.
I may not have a lot, but I love what I got. A 4x4 and a good fishing spot. I hope this time my card won't decline.